Noah Lyles is not planning a normal 2026 season. He is the Olympic 100-meter champion, the four-time world 200-meter champion, and still the loudest man in sprinting. But Jordan Anthony beat him indoors, Gout Gout is coming fast, and June may reveal the real plan. This is not just about winning races. It is about controlling the whole season before the season controls him. Noah Lyles has never been a quiet champion. He talks big, races loud, and turns sprinting into theater. But 2026 is not only about personality, it is about timing. After years of chasing history in the 100 and 200 meters, Lyles now has a harder job. He must defend his name while younger sprinters rush toward him. Jordan Anthony has already beaten him over 60 meters. Gout Gout has run 19.67 at 18. Lyles June, Kenny Bednarek, Keishane Thompson, and Oblique Seville are still part of the storm. That is why his schedule matters. Rome on June 4th, Oslo on June 10th, Ostrava on June 16th. 3 races, 3 different kinds of pressure, less than 2 weeks apart. This does not look random. It looks like a test. Rome checks the 100. Oslo keeps the Diamond League rhythm moving. Ostrava puts him in a strange 150-meter race against Gout Gout, where the whole internet will watch every meter. Lyles is not just racing the field. He is managing the story. That is the hidden thread tying the whole month together before summer fully opens for everyone. The reason Lyles can take risks in 2026 is because Tokyo 2025 protected his strongest claim. At the World Championships, he did not win the 100-meter title. Oblique Seville took that title, and Lyles had to settle for bronze. For many sprinters, that would have turned the whole meet into damage control. Then the 200 meters arrived. Lyles ran 19.51 in the semifinal and looked like a man who had saved his anger for the curve. In the final, Kenny Bednarek pushed hard and made the race real. Lyles did not panic. He surged late and won in 19.52, taking his 4th straight world 200-meter title. That win mattered more than another medal. It reminded everyone that Lyles' kingdom is still the half lap. Usain Bolt won 4 straight world 200-meter titles from 2009 to 2015. Lyles matched that streak in Tokyo. So 2026 begins with a strange truth. Lyles is not unbeatable, but he is still the man everyone has to pass in the 200. That gives him room to build, lose early, test himself, and still point toward the larger target. The first warning sign came indoors. At the 2026 U.S. Indoor Championships, Jordan Anthony won the 60 meters in 6.45. Trayvon Brommel was second in 6.47. Lyles was third in 6.51. That result did not destroy Lyles. The 60 meters is not his main event. He has always been stronger when the race opens up. But it did change the mood. Anthony was not just a college star anymore, he was a professional threat, and he had beaten Lyles in the race where the start matters most. Then Anthony went to the World Indoor Championships and won the 60-meter title in 6.41. That made the indoor message even louder. The young American was not only talking, he was collecting titles. For Lyles, this creates a challenge inside Team USA. The old conversation was often Lyles, Bednarek, Coleman, Curley, and Brommel. Now Anthony is pushing into the room with real results. If Lyles wants to stay the face of American sprinting, he cannot only defend the 200, he has to keep the 100-meter line dangerous too. Rome becomes the first outdoor answer. On June 4th, Lyles is set to race the 100 meters at the Rome Diamond League. That choice is important because his 100-meter story is more complicated than his 200-meter story. In Paris 2024, Lyles won Olympic 100-meter gold by the smallest of margins over Keishane Thompson. It was the kind of win that changes a career. But the next year, the 100 meters did not fully belong to him. Thompson beat him in Silesia. Oblique Seville won the world title in Tokyo. Lyles stayed dangerous, but he did not own the event the way he owns the 200. That is why Rome is not just a season opener on a famous track. It is a signal. Lyles needs to show that the Olympic 100-meter champion is still a real threat in the shortest sprint, not just a 200-meter king using the 100 for speed work. If he starts poorly and closes late, people will say the same weakness is still there. If he reacts well and controls the race early, the whole season changes. Rome will tell us whether his 100-meter plan is sharper or still risky. 6 days after Rome comes Oslo, one of the loud Diamond League stops in the early summer. The exact value of Oslo for Lyles is not only the lane he gets, it is the pressure it places on recovery, travel, and race rhythm. Champions cannot peak for every meet. That is the part casual fans miss. A sprinter's season is built in layers. Some races are for winning, some are for testing starts, some are for learning how the body responds between flights, some are for sending messages without showing the full plan. Oslo comes quickly enough after Rome that it can reveal what Lyles is really trying to build. If he races again, it shows a willingness to stack pressure. If he skips or changes focus, it shows careful management. Either way, the week after Rome matters. This is where the plan gets complicated. Lyles has to stay visible enough to control the conversation, but not so busy that he burns the season early. He has to beat people now without spending the speed he wants later. That balance is hard. That is why Oslo matters even before the gun. Then comes Ostrava on June 16th. Lyles and Gout Gout are set to meet over 150 meters at the Golden Spike. It is not a Diamond League race, but it may become one of the most watched sprint moments of the month. The distance is perfect for drama. 150 meters is between Lyles' Olympic 100-meter crown and Gout's scary 200-meter rise. It is short enough that Lyles' 100-meter speed matters. It is long enough that Gout's smooth closing power matters too. Gout has already run 19.67 for 200 meters at 18, a world under-20 best and an Australian record. That time made every comparison louder. Lyles has even praised his talent, saying Gout was more talented than he was at the same age. But praise ends when the gun fires. For Lyles, Ostrava is risky because losing to a teenager in a non-standard race would create a massive headline. Winning does not prove everything, but losing would be replayed for months. That is why this race is part competition, part message, and part control of the future narrative. The honest view is that Lyles does not need to win every race in June. That sounds strange, but it is true. If he loses in Rome, the season is not over. If Gout pushes him in Ostrava, it does not mean the teenager has passed him. If Anthony keeps improving, it does not erase Lyles' medals, records, or 200-meter control. But there are real dangers. Lyles' start in the 100 meters can still put him in trouble. The younger sprinters are not waiting. The 200-meter field is not soft. Bednarek keeps getting close. Tebogo has already proven he can win Olympic gold. Gout has the kind of age and time combination that makes people dream too early,